My name is Tiffany Vollmer. I'm the voice of Bulma from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT from 1998 to 2008. A typical day in the day of a voice actor is very interesting because there are certain things that you know and certain things you don't know. What I don't know is what script I'm going to be reading, what character I'm going to be reading for. What I do know is how long my session is and what time I need to show up on time and be there and be vocally prepared and ready to do whatever the script dictates. So many things happened when I found out that I was Bulma. I was on acting scholarship at the University of North Texas, and I was getting a double degree in design and performance. Because I was on scholarship, I waited to take my math class until the final semester of school, and I ended up failing my math class. And over the break, I'd given up the lease on my apartment. I was going to move to Los Angeles and try to make it on the big screen. And I ran into Chris Sabat, who I knew from college, and he had heard me sing and seen me perform. And he offered me this audition. And so I went and I read for 7 different roles. I read for Chiaotzu, Dende, Young Gohan, Young Goku, Chi-Chi, Bulma. There's one or Quar maybe. And then 2 weeks later, Chris Sabat called and he said, "Is Tiffany Bulma Vollmer there?" And I was like, "What? Is this Chris?" And he was like, "Yeah, did you hear what I said?" And I said, "Tiffany something Vollmer." And he was like, "Yeah, Bulma." And I'm like, "What's that?" And he said, "That's your new role on Dragon Ball Z." And I was like, "Great! I got cast." Like, for me, it was just that I got cast on my first professional audition outside of college. My favorite aspect of voice acting, number 1, you get to go to work in your pajamas. Number 2 is you never know what you walk into, and I think a lot of my voice actor friends and I are very ADD people. We're artistic and creative, and I never get to read the script before I go in. So it's always a cold reading. It's always a new scenario. And it just keeps it really fun, really exciting that you just don't know what you're gonna walk into. There definitely are challenges in voice acting and ways to overcome that. The challenges are, first of all, you have to prepare your voice. I can never express enough how much it is to make sure that you're lubricated and you've done vocal warm-ups before you get in the booth, because you don't know how demanding the script is going to be. So making sure that you do those vocal exercises, that you let go of the day, you kind of get your body prepared so that you can really be at the director's disposal to do what needs to be accomplished in that recording session is super, super important. And always have hot tea on hand. Throat coat is amazing. Being malleable and doing your vocal warm-ups and making sure that your instrument is ready to be played. If you go to work on a show like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, in the first 3 months, something that is really important for you to do is, number 1, be on time and don't miss a session. They've got one person scheduling a million actors on a million different shows, and so anytime they have to make an exception or reschedule you, it can be really kind of a challenge for the people that are booking you and they're all up against deadlines, not only with their own production company, but with Cartoon Network and with other distributions. So being on time is super important, and being well while you're there. If you take care of your voice, you won't lose your voice, and you'll be ready to perform every time you're called into the session. I have definitely used my Bulma voice in non-related things in life that are outside the show or working on the show. But one of the funniest stories is my brother, who lives up in Des Moines, Iowa, was sitting at a baseball game, and the umpire had made a bad call. And over the loudspeaker, he heard, "You jerk!" And he just lost it, and he was like, "That was my sister." So those things happen. When I auditioned for all those roles, and I think that they really did kind of cast closer to type. I find a lot of attributes about Bulma that I really love to be very similar. I am the center of attention a lot in my friends group, and I'm kind of, sassy and cutesy and all the things, but she's also very smart. And she's a genius, and she's able to really handle things and work a lot under pressure. And I think we see the arc of her character go through being a little teeny bopper and a free spirit and like traveling through the desert and looking for a boyfriend and going on this mission and using her sexuality to, you know, manipulate the situation and the scenarios and get those guys in power under control and whatnot. But then we see her grow, and we see the maternal side of her as a wife who supports her Saiyan crazy Vegeta husband. And we see her also become very maternal in the history of Trunks, where she becomes a mom. She's a mom and a wife and a genius, and she still is pretty hot little animated chick. Hey guys, Tiffany Vollmer signing out. Please check me out on Facebook or Instagram at the OG Bulma, the original gangsta in the house.